Let's see what he's doing. Yeah. That's making a saltwater pond video.
I'm getting to it.
I see.
Don't be hating. What's the good in having it if you can't enjoy it? How's it going out there, guys? Here to do the video on the saltwater pond. It's been a pretty requested video for me to go over my setup and how I take care of it, so we'll get right to it because I'm going to try to cut it short as I can and still be as helpful as I can on it. Of course, you've seen the pond in other videos. It's been running like this for a solid year. I have several power heads for one. Wave circulators, just circulation pumps. There's actually 4 of them spread out through here to kind of keep the water, which it goes in a really nice circular motion. And I actually swapped that up because if you leave it going the same direction, you might have stuff that gets hung in crevices in here, and when you change the water flow up, it'll actually, you know, push that stuff out. I have a sump pump, and I'll show you that once we go out of here to the where the filter is. It's suspended right there. I hope you can see it pretty good. It goes up and through the wall to the adjacent sump that I've got out there, and I've actually got it set up like a reverse sump. How normally the water would go through your overflow of your aquarium and, you know, go into the sump, and then the pump would put it back. Well, the water just gravity feeds back down through that 1/2-inch pipe into here. And I also have an oxygen wafer hooked up to a pretty good size, just an air pump to provide some more oxygen in here. But yeah, that's everything in here. Let's walk out real quick to the sump side and show you how I got that set up. And I wanted to get this done in the daylight so that y'all could see it a little better, but I got a flashlight just in case. The sump's just another Rubbermaid. This is a 100-gallon Rubbermaid cattle trough. The water comes up through that pipe into this trough, and all this I just did it all myself to save time and money. These tubs here I got them from the dollar store. They're just wash tubs like you would use in your sink. I drilled a bunch of holes in the bottom, and I have them packed with different filter media. I'll show you in that one in just a second. And the water, I built these diffusers on both of them, so I get good air exchange through my water. Of course, here's your skimmer. That's a very, very important aspect of this. I wish I could have went with a bigger skimmer. This one fit perfect. This is actually for a 150-gallon rating, but it's been on here for a year. It actually hardly ever has anything in it until I feed. When I feed, like you can see there, I just fed a little while ago, I'll get some froth and get some foam coming through. Other than that, it stays pretty empty until, you know, so I don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But like I said, it goes through that diffuser. In here, I've got another pump, if you can see that, and it runs up and through this one. And then in here, I have all my different filter media. A course to catch stuff, a bonded like you would pick up at your local fish store, and then I have this pad I order which is bonded also, and then under that is my carbon bag. Now I put the carbon last in the line. You don't want the carbon to be in your initial. The reason why you want it, the reason why you want your carbon as far back in the line is because you want your other filtration to catch all it can catch before the carbon, because the carbon's really just there to kind of keep your water clear, the smells down, and you know, so if you got it first, it's not going to last as long. You'll get a lot more longevity if you've got it further on down in the line. And as you can see, the 5-gallon buckets down there, I drilled holes in those, and then these buckets are full of just live rock bio balls, and that's where my biological filtration happens. Now, when it comes to doing something like this, that's the first #1 key to it is biological filtration. You want that bacteria. The bacteria is your basis for life and everything, even in ourselves. And I'll get into that, but first I was going to show you the only chemicals I use. I do use a prime every now and then. When I do a big water change, I'll add a little bit of prime. You got to be careful with this stuff though, guys. It can be bad. Just a regular marine buffer that keeps my pH at 8.4, and I have an alkalinity or a KH buffer that keeps it at 8.3, 8.4. Now, alkalinity is important because it keeps your buffer stable, I mean your pH stable, and keeps it from crashing. That is all I add to my fish only system, is those two chemicals there. The other most important piece of equipment to all this is a reverse osmosis. If you really want to keep healthy fish, I cannot stress enough how much money this thing will save you. Initial investment, you're looking at around 200 bucks for a good system. This is a 100-gallon a day system. I have a Rubbermaid here that holds all my fresh, clean water, and then I do for my water changes, I mix everything here. I keep the pond at about 1.022 on the gravity, 2.2 to 2.3. Natural seawater is 2.6, so that gives me a good cushion, you know, for water evaporation. The other important thing with this is get you go ahead and spend the money. It's 20 to 30 bucks. A good total dissolved solid meter, or TDS meter. That will tell you that your reverse osmosis system is working properly. Just always check every time I do a fresh basin of water, and just periodically I check total dissolved solids. And to check, make sure your meter's working good, you can just use distilled water. Distilled water has a total dissolved solid property of 0. This thing here, I usually get about a 4, to where tap water is like something outrageous, like 97. I mean, it's up there. Some municipal water sources are, you know, well over 120. So you want to keep on top of your total dissolved solids. The lower the number, the better. And not everything in the water is bad. I mean, that meter is going to tell you your strontium, any kind of chloramides, chlorine that's in there, iron. I mean, anything that's in that water, that meter is going to tell you. So not everything is bad. If you check like spring water, it's got like 30, you know, on the parts per million, which is mostly minerals and such. I use Instant Ocean exclusively. Some people like different salt. Never had a problem in Instant Ocean. I use it in this and my reef. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it there again. Back to what we was talking about on the inside here. I guess if I had to break it down to 4 main things, first would be, for successfully keeping something like this, first would be bacteria, or your biological filtration. That would be first and foremost. You can get that by several different ways. You can use live sand, Smart Start, Cycle. I mean, there's a bunch of different stuff out there. All of them are pretty much, you know, some form of bacteria. For me, I got a reef tank inside, so I was actually able to use seed water from the reef tank out here to, you know, kind of get my bacterial process kicked off. Second thing, like, would be most important to me would be that reverse osmosis system, because it's going to save you a pile of money. And you know, because third after that reverse osmosis is going to be your water changes. You keep on top of your water changes, and if you do your water changes like you're supposed to, I do mine weekly. Usually on Sunday, which was today, I did the water change. I do 10 to 15%. You know, I mean, of course, you want to stay on top of checking your water parameters, but I did 10, 15% today, which, you know, translates to be about 30 to 35 gallons. I do, and I do that on a weekly basis. Now, some people say you don't need to do but 20% a month, but I have a lot of sharks and a lot of rays in here, and I just feel better going ahead and doing it. I'm saving a pile of money, making my own water anyway. But yeah, that's how I do my water changes. And fourth would be water movement. You know, you want plenty of water movement. As you can see, this is kind of going around in a circle. And I'll change that up every now and then, just in case there's some debris that's hung somewhere. You know, it kind of flushes that out so the filters get it. And the other thing, I guess the fifth thing, if I were to break it down into 5, would be a routine feeding schedule. And what I mean by routine is you kind of feed them around the same amount, and you feed them directly. I've watched videos where people just throw the food into the water and whatever gets it, gets it. And if that's how you do it, that's fine. But you're going to cause yourself more headache. Stuff's going to get stuck places that other critters ain't going to get. And you're going to have to do more water changes. So I prefer to target feed. And I mean, you got them to enjoy them. So to me, that's one of the most enjoyable times, is being able to sit here and feed them. So I actually target feed everybody, make sure they got their food. Because I mean, one piece of squid, one piece of shrimp gets hung somewhere in there, and you would not believe how quick you will notice a difference in the clarity of your water. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, I keep the gravity, like I'd said, you know, around 122, 123. You know, 126 is natural seawater, but that kind of gives you a cushion that, you know, if you didn't do a check your water parameters, it would give you a little bit of time where you could add some top off. Because, you know, of course, when you're keeping something like this, you're going to have water that's going to evaporate from the system. Well, the salt stays in the system, so that's going to raise your gravity of the pond. So, of course, you want to keep on top of that, on top of gravity. Too high of a gravity is not good. Too low is not good. And too quick of a spike can be bad also. Just trying to think if there's anything else that I missed and didn't go over with y'all about how I got my pond set up. I really wish I'd have went with a 2-inch pipe. That's 1.5 inches. Or, well, no, sorry, that's 3/4. No, that's right. Yeah, it is 1.5 inches. I'm sorry. I wish I'd have went with a bigger pipe. I actually had to slow the water flow from my pump through the system because it was overwhelming the sump. And if I had a bigger pipe, I could flow more water, of course. So if you do this, go with the bigger pipe, the bigger bulkheads, and it'll work out a lot better for you that way. So as always, if you got any questions further about it, I think I pretty much covered everything. If I missed something out, shoot me a comment below, and I'll give you a good answer on it the best I can. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I guess I'll catch you next time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.